Did you know the way you walk could potentially make you a target? It might sound like something out of a psychological thriller, but it's grounded in unsettling reality. Each stride and gesture might be sending signals you're not even aware of. In the United States, every 68 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted. Among the factors that could elevate risk, something as routine as walking style plays a significant role. Forensic experts have found that certain walking patterns can signal vulnerability. For instance, walking with your head down, arms tightly wrapped around yourself, or taking unusually small steps could be interpreted as signs of fear or discomfort. Predators, it seems, are tuned into these signals, often subconsciously picking up on who might be less likely to fight back. This isn't just about how fast or slow you move. It's about the message you're broadcasting through your body language. Are you aware, confident, and assertive? Or does your walk suggest you are unaware and preoccupied? This isn't just speculation, it's backed by forensic research. Scene script. Imagine showing videos of people walking to convicted predators. What do you think they observed? In an intriguing study conducted by researchers at Brock University in 2013, a group of inmates, all convicted of serious crimes such as rape and assault, were shown videos featuring various women walking. The purpose? To uncover if and how potential victims are selected based on their gait and overall demeanor. The findings were revealing. The inmates did not randomly choose their potential victims. Instead, they showed a distinct preference for certain walking styles and body languages. What caught their attention? Predominantly, it was the way these women carried themselves. Let's delve deeper into their observations. First, the stride. Women who were selected often had a stride that seemed either too large or too small for their body size. Such an irregular stride possibly conveyed a lack of self-assuredness or physical imbalance, signals that might be interpreted as vulnerability. Next, consider the positioning of the arms. The targeted individuals tended to walk with their arms crossed tightly over their chests, or held closely to their bodies, or in some cases their arms swung excessively. This type of body language might communicate a defensive or anxious state, again pointing to potential vulnerability. Another critical factor was the overall awareness of their surroundings. Women who appeared less aware, those who took smaller steps or walked slower, often with their heads down, were frequently chosen. This lack of environmental awareness could signal to a predator an easy opportunity for attack, as these individuals might be easier to surprise and subdue. From this study, it became clear that these convicted individuals were adept at reading subtle cues in body language and gait, cues that indicate whether someone might be an easier target. The choices were strategic, based on perceived weakness rather than random selection. It turns out, the predators' choices were less about physical appearance and more about perceived vulnerability. What specific walking styles did these inmates identify as vulnerable? The study from Brock University highlighted some intriguing, albeit unsettling patterns. Predators, it seems, have a knack for picking up on subtle cues from potential victims' walking styles which might indicate vulnerability. First, let's talk about the pace of walking. Individuals who took smaller steps and walked at a slower pace seemed to stand out to the inmates. This slower, hesitant gait might be interpreted as a lack of confidence or a general unease, traits that predators exploit. Conversely, those who moved too quickly, with a stride that appeared unnaturally large for their body size, also caught the inmates' attention. This might be perceived as overcompensation, another form of insecurity. Then, there's the position of the arms. Crossed arms or arms held unusually close to the body were common among those selected by the inmates as potential targets. This posture can be seen as a protective gesture, a subconscious attempt to shield oneself. It signals to the predator that the individual is not only physically guarded, but potentially mentally and emotionally reserved, possibly fearful. The orientation of one's head plays a crucial role too. Walking with the head down, avoiding eye contact with the surroundings, indicates a lack of awareness and engagement with the environment. This lack of alertness is a critical factor. It suggests that the individual is absorbed in their own thoughts or fears, making them less likely to notice a potential threat. Interestingly, the way individuals swung their arms was also noted. Those who had a wild, uncontrolled swing to their arms were perceived as less coordinated, and therefore less capable of defending themselves effectively in a sudden confrontation. These observations about walking style are not just about the physical movements, but are deeply intertwined with perceived psychological states. The inmates assessed these individuals not just on how they moved, but on what these movements suggested about their overall confidence and awareness. These signs might seem minor, but to a predator, they're like a flashing neon sign. Why would someone's walk signal vulnerability? This question delves deep into the psychological underpinnings of human behavior and predator perception. It's a complex interplay of nonverbal cues that can inadvertently communicate a wealth of information about one's emotional state and perceived vulnerability. At the heart of this discussion is the concept of nonverbal communication, which encompasses all the ways we express ourselves without words. Our posture, the pace of our walk, and even the minor gestures we make can broadcast signals about our confidence, anxiety, or distraction. Predators, often skilled in reading these cues, may interpret certain behaviors as signs of an easy target. For instance, walking with hunched shoulders and a downward gaze might suggest to an observer that the individual is preoccupied, perhaps lost in thought or overwhelmed by worry. This state of distraction makes one less likely to notice potential threats, thereby appearing more vulnerable. Similarly, a slow, irregular walking pace can suggest hesitation or uncertainty, traits that might imply a lack of readiness to respond swiftly in a dangerous situation. Moreover, there's a psychological concept known as the fight or flight response, a fundamental reaction to perceived threats. Individuals who exhibit signs of the freeze response, like restricted movement or a closed-off posture, such as crossed arms or tightly held belongings, might be subconsciously signaling their inclination towards the flight or freeze response rather than fight. Predators might pick up on these signals, perceiving these individuals as less likely to defend themselves aggressively. Interestingly, research into criminal psychology suggests that predators often rely on these nonverbal cues to make split-second judgments about potential victims. They are not merely looking for physical weakness, but are attuned to psychological cues that indicate someone might not resist or raise an alarm effectively. In essence, every aspect of how we present ourselves, from our stride to the steadiness of our gaze, can communicate volumes. It's a profound reminder of the importance of being aware of our own body language and the messages we may be sending, intentionally or otherwise. Our body language speaks volumes even when we are silent. How can awareness of our own body language reduce our risk of becoming a target? In the shadowy corners of our everyday lives, the subtle cues we emit through our body language can inadvertently signal vulnerability. But by tweaking these signals, we can potentially safeguard ourselves from becoming targets. Let's explore how simple adjustments in our walking style and overall demeanor can broadcast confidence and awareness, thus deterring potential predators. Firstly, maintaining an even pace while walking is crucial. A steady, purposeful stride suggests that you are aware and in control of your environment. It communicates that you're not easily taken by surprise, which is a powerful deterrent to those looking for an easy target. Next, consider the position of your head. Keeping your head up not only allows you to be more observant of your surroundings, but it also projects an image of self-assurance. When your gaze is directed forward rather than down at your feet, it signals to others that you are aware of your environment and are not to be trifled with. Moreover, the manner in which we hold our arms can send strong cues about our mental state. Arms that are crossed or held close to the body might indicate that you're protecting yourself or feeling anxious. On the contrary, allowing your arms to swing naturally by your sides shows that you are relaxed and confident. This is not just a signal of ease, it's a subtle declaration of your capability to defend yourself if the need arises. Being observant of your surroundings is another key factor. This doesn't just mean scanning the area visually, it involves being mentally present and engaged with the environment. This level of alertness can make it difficult for anyone to catch you off guard. Lastly, practice these behaviors until they become second nature. Confidence is often a byproduct of preparedness. By regularly practicing these steps, you not only enhance your safety, but also your self-assurance as you move through the world. Small changes in how we present ourselves can make a big difference in our safety. To walk confidently is not just about posture, it's about mindset. Over the course of this discussion, we've unearthed some critical insights into how potential predators perceive vulnerability through simple cues like walking style and body language. The findings from Brock University highlight a stark reality. Those who appear less aware and more fearful are unfortunately more likely to be targeted. It's essential to recognize that every step you take sends a message. Walking with your head held high, maintaining a steady pace, and being aware of your surroundings aren't just acts of physical movement, they're declarations of self-assurance and alertness. These are not just strategies for safety, they are powerful affirmations of your presence in any space you occupy. Take a moment to reflect on your own habits. Are there changes you could make to convey more confidence? Could a simple adjustment in your stride or posture enhance your sense of security? Remember, how you walk through the world matters. Walk with purpose, walk with awareness, and most importantly, walk safely.